Hello, everyone. I'm starting with a cough. That was a good start. How's everyone doing? I didn't really have anything planned for tonight, so this might be very, very boring, or maybe it'll blow up and be very interesting. I don't know. So I know it's pretty cold outside. It's probably the same for some of you, right? When you spit and it comes out as ice, or your nostrils uh, freeze together when you're breathing. I mean, it's pretty cold. So what's up? So thank you, Dan, Tracy, Lynn, for being here. Hopefully, some more people will join. It says that I have two people waiting, eight people watching. I don't know. I can't see who's watching. Okay, it's only minus 13 Fahrenheit. Wow. Um, it's minus 20 something here Celsius, and it's supposed to be in the minus 40s tonight and tomorrow. And I don't know exactly what that gives you, but minus 40 Celsius is the equivalent in Fahrenheit. Minus 40. It is cold. I started my Jeep when I got out of work. I figured I was going to you know, let it on a little bit before I left. And I could hear it was probably a belt or something squeaking like, it was so cold. Like, you breathe and it makes you cough because it's way too cold. Hello, Barb's Country Home. Thank you very much for stopping by. 8 people watching. Awesome. Well, I got 10 now. Yes, hit the like button. Thank you very much. It really, really helps the channel. So, what's the plan for the weekend, everyone? Since my last live stream, let's see, Saturday morning, I got up. I had to go get some chicken and rabbit feed. And well, I actually have a little story to tell you, but I'm kind of afraid to tell the story because I don't know if you guys believe in that kind of stuff or not. Hello, Marilyn. Hello, John. Minus 4. Yeah, it's minus 40 Fahrenheit here tonight. That's mm, having a much needed date night tomorrow night. Awesome. What we started doing last Saturday, and we're thinking about um, doing it again for the next few weeks at least, is karaoke night at my aunt's place. My cousin's there. My little cousin, that made it to the TV show The Voice, is usually there. I don't know if he's allowed to sing or not, but I mean, his mom that was also on TV is there, and it's just fun. Uh, do you guys believe in people that can read cards? I'll make a poll. Let's see. Uh, how do I do that? Start a poll. There. I pinned a poll up there. Um, Actually, Dan, I have a few videos for my members only. Um, I can't really show them now because it was filmed in the summer before he got there. We've seen the first episode of the TV show where all the judges turn around. I mean, the four of them turn, and that's where he stands as of now. Um, we're just hoping that he makes it further. He's got the unique voice. Whatever people are looking for in the TV show, The Voice. He's got that, so I'm pretty confident that he can make it far. But I'm not the judge, and I'm not all the people. So, uh, you believe it? It's not good. It's not good for you, or because yeah, it's a pretty crazy story. Weather warming up here in Saskatchewan started winter sowing on herbs and flowers. Yeah, I really want to get that going this year. You are, John. The ones that are showing down there are the people that have the extra. I just didn't have time to create the banner for um, all the members. I want to do one with all the members and one with, because I can only put so many names there. So I'm gonna have to do a few ones. But you're right. I think I put them all in the comments below. Shout out. I have Dave Knight, John at Will It Grow, Time to Shine Homestead, Back to Basics Homestead, and then as Crazy Live is also a member of mine. Shout out. Okay, what else? What else? Yes, you are a member. What parts? One not for me. Lufa, awesome. Yeah, I will put them on though. Just a matter of taking time to put the names there. So yeah, funny story. My cousin that I'm not gonna name in case he watches this. Um, he was very skeptical about all those things. He never believed in that stuff. He never believed that people had gifts. Um, his sister, my cousin, is believed to be able to see in the sixth dimension or fourth dimension, or like have a sixth sense. I don't know how you would say it. Apparently, she can see spirits, and it's pretty creepy because when I started going out with my girlfriend, her coming out of a hard relationship, we had to move somewhere quite fast. So we ended up with rent. We rented a house that was not too expensive. I think it was $700 a month with everything included, heat, electricity, and all that stuff. And we could feel, when you enter a house and you feel that something's wrong with the house. Um, we kind of felt that, but figured, like, we must be crazy. And then there were weird noises in the house. I sound crazy. I know. We were at some point in bed and we saw like a blue light on the wall. And I didn't say anything because it got me spooked. And I sat down in the bed and my girlfriend's like, "What was that?" And at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm not the only one that saw this light. Um, which is, it was kind of weird because it was really there. But then, considering the way the room was made, the way the basement was made, if there was a blue light there, if it was done by someone, it would have had to come from inside the house, and there was nobody there. I mean, we lived there. We were the ones there in bed. We didn't have lights. We didn't have a blue light. So at that point, we kind of started freaking out, thinking that something was wrong with the house, that the house was haunted or whatever. And my cousin came over, um, and she was going to be my daughter's godmother. And when she came for a visit, I'm like, okay, come downstairs. I'm going to show you where we're going to make the bedroom for the baby. And my girlfriend was pregnant back then, and she's like, okay, sure. So she comes down the first two steps and she sits down. And I never told her about all the feelings we had in the house. And then I looked at her and I'm like, what's wrong? Like, you're not coming? You don't want to see? And she looked at me and she's like, there's too many souls down there. I'm not going down there. And then, like, that really freaked me out. Um, I don't know if I'm supposed to believe that kind of stuff or not at that point. I'm like, okay, like we have to get out of here. Like it's not funny anymore. Like we hear like weird different noises. We see lights on the walls. My cousin, that's been known for seeing spirits her whole life, suddenly starts telling me that she sees spirits down in the basement. So it's like, okay, we're getting out of here. So even though that she is believed to have this gift, my cousin, that I'm not gonna name, doesn't believe in that kind of stuff. At least he didn't until a few weeks ago. He had a dream, and when you dream about something, when you start dreaming and your dream like doesn't really make sense. You're playing soccer, and then the soccer ball ends up being like, I don't know, like a chicken, and then you run after the chicken to butcher the chicken, and like it doesn't make sense. Like the timeline of your dream never really adds up. But for him, it did. It's like someone was there teaching him how to read cards, how to read the tarot cards, and he didn't believe in any of this stuff. So he got up, woke up, and he's like, I know how to read cards. And he had this design in his head. So he's like, okay, I have to go and look for a deck that has a design like this. And so he goes to the store, finds the exact same thing he dreamt of. That's weird. Um, but we were still skeptical. He was still skeptical. He doesn't want to believe in that stuff. He had a second dream about the same thing. Um, and then he started reading cards, and we he told me that he had some sort of gift to get some energy. Like if he really gets tired, he can touch someone and get some more energy. And I keep laughing at him, telling him that I can just steal your energy if I want to. And I don't know if it's just because he believed it, or because maybe I was crazy enough to believe it myself. But that night, he's like, well, when you read cards, you need a lot of energy. So I'm going to take your energy. And I figured I'm going to try to steal his instead. And I know it sounds crazy. Uh, but then when he was done, he's like, you must have been skeptical because, like, I'm really, really, really tired. Like, I'm really more tired than usual. Like, it doesn't make sense. Um, and then we went to the store, this new age store where they sell like all kind of you know um, special rocks that have special. I don't know if you can see that. They're supposed to have special healing effects and stuff like that. Have a quartz here. Um, and when we were there, he's like, "Okay, let me try to get your energy again." Like, man, it's not gonna work. I kept laughing at him. It's not gonna work. So he takes my hand. He's like, "I'm gonna steal your energy," and I'm like, "No, you're not." And I still believe it was just a coincidence. He doesn't believe it. But 15 minutes later, he was outside in the cold, puking in a snowbank. So since then, he doesn't want to try to steal my energy. I don't know what's going on. Kind of freaking out. It's weird. It's weird, but it's just, yeah. I have a deck here, and I want to play with it a little bit. And I have like all the chakras, rocks here, stones. We aren't supposed to play with that stuff as it's demons controlling it, but I don't look down on those who do. The ones that are real are playing with things they don't understand. Okay, that's a way to see it. Um, there was this one woman that my cousin went to see because he was curious to see. Apparently, she can read like people's aura, and she told him um, that he was strong, that he had guardians watching him, and that he was really able to read cards. My cousin's like, well, you should go there. You should go see that lady. I'm like, okay, $25, whatever. She's gonna tell me creepy stuff, or either I believe it or I don't. Um, but one of the things the woman told me was that I was releasing a lot of energy, and that I believe somehow because whenever I get close, we sleep close with my girlfriend and I. She can't stay close to me for too long. She's saying I release too much heat, but I think it's her. But anyway, um, yeah. So apparently that I sort of have a strong intuition, and that will be my sort of gift. If my intuition tells me to do something, it means that I should probably do it. You believe in what you want to believe. There are people who are sensitive to the spiritual. I believe fallen angels or demons try to take advantage of them to mislead people. Though the person is legit, they are being shown distortions. Maybe. I'm not denying. It could be right. In our whole apartment, I've seen a lady in a white dress walk from the hall and through the front door. I would just say you have a good time. I'll leave the light on to you. I'm happy that I don't see that kind of stuff. I don't want to see spirits at the same time seeing her. And what was weird when we were in that house is that my 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 son was a year old and a half, a year and a half old, and he kept saying that he was playing in his bedroom with the man with the hat. It was a man with a hat in his room. It was weird. It was like a fishing hat, according to him. Um, we know that there was someone in the house that passed away in the house. I don't know. It was weird. I also believe not all gifts are good. Kind of like getting that's from cake. Yeah, maybe. Well, it would make sense that not necessarily all gifts are good. Um, I like to think that if you can use it for good, if you can do good stuff, yeah, some sort of. I have a quartz. I have this is called perlite, I think. Um, I don't know. It's just I had an extra one. I have one. It's called tourmaline. It's a black rock um, coming from volcano mixed with something else, and it's believed to protect from negative energy. And I've had it in my pocket for the past 3 weeks, and things have been going well at work. So just the fact that things are going well, it's like wow, it's huge. So whether it's real or not, I'm gonna keep on believing that the rock is, helping me somehow. Maybe I'm releasing bad energy, and you know, maybe that's why my girlfriend is sick all the time. Who knows? Maybe I'm bad for her. I don't know. When I was in college, one of my friends called him psychic, and she told him he didn't believe in stuff, and then he wanted to tell her about Jesus. I almost said hi. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna do things that you know. I'm kind of too afraid of spirits and stuff like that to start calling spirits and that kind of stuff. So I'm not gonna do that. Hello, how the garden, Krubby and Kat. Thank you very much for being here. Hello, Scott. How are you? Oh, people start coming in while I was talking about ghost stories and people that can read cards and all that kind of stuff. So beside that, haven't been doing much. We're gonna go sing some karaoke again tomorrow night, and yeah, I bought 3 bottles of wine. I'm gonna split that up with my girlfriend. Yeah, I'm anxious to hear my daughters sing again. Um, the youngest one was not there last week, so I kind of hope that she's gonna sing tomorrow and everything goes well. So something dangerous happened to me yesterday. Let's see if I can find it and if you can see it. So my ex boss sends me a message. It's like, you want to buy seeds at $1 a pack? Sure. Where, what, when? So he sends me. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to see it. If I put it closer, right. So it's someone he knows. You can't see everything that's there, but I mean, look at all the seeds. Um, they're seeds from last year, I guess. So I don't know if last year means 2021 or 2022, but regardless, $1 a pack. It's still a pretty good deal. Sorry. Yeah. Thing is, I think it's. I don't know if they're my boss is dating her or um, they're going out. I don't know the story, but apparently she's the one that has all those seeds and she's looking to get rid of them. So I don't know why, but I'm gonna get some herbs. I needed a few carrots, a few cucumbers, and a few things like that. Yeah, I thought I liked seeds. And the thing is, whenever I find some on sale, or like the other day at the store, I was at Giant Tiger. I don't know if you guys in the States have a store like that, but they were 79 cents and some were 99 cents. I mean, when you pay less than $1 per pack, it's worth it because what's the worst that can happen? There's gonna be like a 50% germination rate. And even if I have too much for this year, there's still next year, there's still the year after. Who knows? Maybe they'll stop selling seeds at the store for some reason. Wouldn't be the most surprising thing. Trust me. Um, Hello, Kitchen Garden Therapy. How are you? Hope you're doing well. So yeah, I'm gonna get some more seeds. I know, Slava, you started planting seeds already. I'm guessing, and I know Wells, Little Garden on the Prairies is also planting stuff indoors. I'm gonna start soon. I, I looked at my last frost date, which is May 31st, and I did what Annie from Back to Basics Homestead suggested I should do. Um, make it 1 week later or push it a few days at least. So if I'm looking at my calendar, May 31st is a Wednesday. So I'm going to wait at least until like June 4th, depending on the weather, depending on what we're expecting. If everything is sunny and warm enough, I might wait. It's gonna give me like an extra 4 or 5 days, and on the weekend, uh, getting ready to plant some kale inside for my smoothies. I still have some in my freezer. I planted some specifically for my smoothies. I just didn't use it yet. But yeah, I think with that being said, that my first seed that I should be planting would be the echinacea, calendula, mostly flowers. I got four type of flowers coming in my uh, top 10: leeks, onion, one type of tomatoes, and two types of peppers. So yeah, and I might go. It's always saying plant 6 to 8 weeks before, but I think I'm gonna go with the 6 weeks. even if I have to wait like an extra few days to plant it outside. From what I could see last year, if I wait an extra week, um, it's doing just as good. So I'll have some rhubarb to start inside. I have an old rhubarb root that I bought last year. It's still in my bedroom, so I'm guessing it's not good anymore. But one of the students that's currently on a stage, I don't know what's the word in English. She's on a learn on the job kind of thing. Um, her father and grandfather owned um, the local. It's called Bremner and Son. So it's the local farmers, like they grow carrots, potatoes, corn, and all that kind of stuff. They sell a bunch of tractors, and she was telling me that for rhubarb, um, if you, yeah, maybe intern, it might be the term. If you like cut a little piece and there's still some green, then it would still be alive. So I don't know. I'll have to open the bag and check it out. If it's still a little bit of green inside, then I can put it in water, um, for a few hours and transplant it. Last frost date is in the end of April, but I'm going to grow cool season veggies from March, end of April. Wow, that must be awesome. It's like a full month before us. Hello, hello. I don't know if it's how you pronounce it. MLY Bird Farm. Good morning for you, and it's almost bedtime for me. Awesome. Good morning. It's 9:29 p.m. here. That's pretty cool, though. You're probably from Australia, or I know you probably said it at some point. I just don't remember. I don't have a good memory, but I think it would be intern. Yeah, she's training to be a pharmacist. So, what are you guys planning for the weekend? Anything in particular going on? Um, oh, by the way, John, if you're still here, we loved the purple beauty peppers that you sent last year to the kids. I didn't show anything at the end because the kids were getting kind of bored with all the garden stuff. I didn't want to push them too much, but yeah, Cody ended up growing a few peppers. Well, considering the amount of plants she had, she grew just as much as me. I had uh, maybe 20 plants, and I ended up with maybe 20 peppers. And she had two plants, and she had like 4 or 5 peppers, which was awesome. We love them. We put them in our salsa and some spaghetti sauce. I think I have some salsa here. See, this is something I learned to do this year. And this is the kind of thing that I love being part of Shed Wars for because it pushed me to do more. And I ended up doing this is a zucchini salsa with everything from my own garden. The only thing that's not coming from my garden is the spices that I had to put in. I mean, like salt and was coming and was something else I don't remember, but the peppers, tomatoes, zucchinis, onions, everything was from my garden, which is pretty cool. Planning to start more seeds this weekend. Cool. As you can see, I have my pantry behind me. There's some stuff upstairs as well. I didn't bring everything down, but I'm hoping that with the years, I'm gonna be able to fill this out a little bit more, and maybe even at some point make better shelves to have more space to put some more stuff. They are cool peppers. At some point, I thought that they were gonna be. some sort of black peppers, and then they started turning purple. It was like, oh, cool. Actually, talking to Robert on the new Shed Wars. Awesome. You mean new Shed Wars as in the news, the upcoming season, or you guys are going to do something totally different? I'm really looking forward to it. It was fun. It really pushed me, and I'm glad it did because with the price of all the food now, I mean, I was at the store. I used to pay 3.49 for about that big jar of salsa, and today I looked on the shelf and I'm like, what? Two for $10? That's like $5 each. That's an increase of $1.50 each jar. Then I looked again and like, can't be right. And yeah, I wasn't right. It was the chips that were two for $10. The salsa was 6.49. That's an increase of $3, almost 100% increase on the salsa. It's ridiculous. So I'm gonna keep pushing myself and pushing myself to grow more and more and more food because it's it just doesn't make sense anymore. Hello, Chris and Steph. How are you guys doing? Looks like we still have 3 months before we get to see each other again. That's awesome. And I still have your cooler, by the way. I didn't forget it. I didn't break it. I didn't lose it. It's still in storage room somewhere. But well, not somewhere. It's in the storage room. I know where it is. Some new, more fun things coming for sure. Awesome. And yeah, the more we grow as a community, the better it's going to be. The more people are going to be looking for shit wars, and I think that more and more people are going to be on YouTube looking to learn to grow stuff because, like I said, everything is so expensive right now that people are going to have to start growing their own food. Time will pass pretty quick between now and then. Yes, and I remember last year. It was actually a few weeks ago that we started talking about the conference, and we talked about making arrangements to make it there. We don't have the final schedule as of yet. I'm not sure when exactly we're going to leave, but we're talking about doing the same thing we did last year. So I think I'm off. Took the same days off as last year, but I think I took the Tuesday off after instead of coming back on some sort of a rush on Monday to be here so I could go to work on Tuesday. I'm going to be able to rest on Tuesday a little bit. So Thursday morning, probably going to drive to Rivière du Loup and pick up Marilyn on my way there. Well, she's going to be there and head over to Darren's. I think that's still the plan anyway. And the next morning, we're going to leave to go at the cabin. We're just not sure if we're gonna go with Darren at the cabin or take my vehicle so that if we want to go um, longer at Chris and Steph, or if we want to go visit Lynn or anything like that, we can take our time um, and head back to Darren's place on Sunday or Monday night or whatever is going to happen. I also have a cousin living in Quebec that I'd like to go and visit. Hello, Tammy. Thank you for being here. Hope you're doing well. That will be good. Probably a good idea to have the extra day after. Yeah, and it wasn't that bad last year. It's just that Darren and Brigitte were kind of hoping to stay at the cabin an extra day, and in the end, Darren had to go to work, so it kind of turned out okay. But it's not a bad thing to have it the extra day if we do come back on Monday. And if we want to stay there an extra day, well, we'll stay there an extra day. Hello, Gardner Josh. Thank you very much for stopping by. Yeah, and I mean, once we're there, nothing's stopping us from, getting all in the same vehicle to go visit Mike and Angie, and then go to the conference or anything like that. Um, it's just that I like when I'm somewhere that I can decide if if I want to stay there a few extra minutes, I'll stay there a few extra minutes, and like not that it. I mean, it was okay last year. I'm not complaining about the way things went. It was all right, but it's just I like to have the option. Might go Friday and come home on Monday. Awesome. Um, I think that yeah, if you leave Friday, it's what 3 hours away from your place. I think that's what it is, right? So we might end up being there pretty much at the same time on Friday, which is going to be awesome. You can't really go to the cabin before Darren gets there anyway. If you grow hickory croft, squash varieties, you get a lot of food. Yeah, I don't know if I have all the varieties he has. I know I have a lot of. Let me check just for fun. I'm curious. Yeah, if you grow squash, I have early prolific straight neck squash. These were new for me last year, and I love them. Um, Fried, cooked in the oven, in a soup, raw. I would take those squash, cut them in pieces, bring them to work as a snack. They were so good. I also have crookneck squash. I have butternut, Honka baby butternut. I don't know what those are, but there's some sort of butternut squash anyway. I don't know if they're just like a tiny bit different. I have buttercup squash. I didn't get any of those last year. They kind of look like green pumpkins, so maybe I thought they were pumpkins. And, I don't know. Table queen squash, kabocha squash. These are some that I received. Gourd phantom squash. These chips. I think those came from Annie. Green Hubbard or Hubbard. I don't know how you pronounce it. Squash. And some more spaghetti squash here. And because I'm a seed addict, I have to admit, um, I have a second thingy here. These are squash seeds that I picked up from my own squash. Butternut squash here. Waltham butternut squash from my gardener. Um, these from Gaia Seed Honey Boat Delicata. I can't wait to try these. They almost look like zucchinis. Some more spaghetti squash. Did I ever tell you how much I love spaghetti squash? Spaghetti squash. Early prolific straight neck squash. Green Hubbard squash. Waltham butternut winter squash. Green Heg hybrid squash. This is from Amanda at Our Life Off Grid. Green egg summer squash. Uh, early prolific squash again. And acorn squash. So yeah, I don't know which ones I'm gonna have success with. I know last year I had success with a few spaghetti squash and a few butternut squash and a bunch of zucchinis. Did I have anything else? A few pumpkins, which are considered squash, but uh, yeah, it goes up fast when you put them on a scale and you weigh them all. That's what I like with the winter squash. You can just put them there, and they stay good for long. If you grow squash, period, you get a lot of food. Yes, um, according to Chris, this is the food that's going to save the world. Hello, Dave. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you're doing well. It would be very similar to the yellow crookneck squash. Still related. Uh, the ones that were like green and like striped ones. My squash hated me last year. Well, really, every year I've tried to grow them in containers. For some reason, even Haney has some trouble, and she's in zone 5, and I'm in zone 4. So I don't know if it's because they don't like squash don't like the warmth. Um, I don't know. Grow them, yeah, yeah. What Chris said. Someone has mentioned the hickory crop squash to me, but the seeds are hard to get. Yes, they are hard to get. Premiere at 20:35 tonight. So that would be probably tomorrow morning for us. Um, what time is it there now? I don't still don't know how to pronounce your name, but MLY Bird Farm. One small zucchini, and that's funny. I went, I planted some stuff at the community garden, and the first year I was there, at the end of the season, they threw out a lot of stuff. They're trying to get rid of everything that's still growing that they don't think they're going to be able to harvest anything. And they had a few zucchini plants that they simply threw in the woods. And I was just looking out, like looking around to see what was there. And like I found a few zucchinis that were probably, maybe like the size of this little bar here, maybe like 6, 7 inches. Um, Not big, but it's still food. They were still good. They were still, no, they didn't. What's the word? Um, they were still good. Just put it this way. The kind of squash are good. I used to grow them. Awesome. The early prolific yellow summer squash. Yeah. Um, I didn't have much success with the crookneck squash. I had a few plants here, and I think I ended up with maybe like 3 or 4 squash on them. But the early prolific, I think that they're the ones that probably saved my season. I think I grew, I said about 200 pounds of squash, and I think I had like 150 pounds of them that I froze and put in my freezer, or that I ate, or that I put in the soup. I even give some away. Like when I went moose hunting, I called my friend. I said, if you want to go try them out, like I still have a bunch growing. I'll be in the woods for the whole week, and there might be a few frosts. So go ahead and harvest whatever you want. Obviously, I didn't weigh that in because I wasn't there to pick it up. I didn't even see it. She told me that she picked a few zucchinis and a few squash, and that she was really happy with it. So that was my some sort of garden deed uh, of the year. Um, I found someone that I think that I can grow food for my next year garden deed. Um, it's hard. I don't know about you guys. Like I know you can go and give away the food to the food bank, but there's so many rules, so many laws in place. Um, they don't always take it. I guess I would have to go there and sit there and wait for people to come out and ask them if they want to have some food. And then if people don't know you, tend to be a little bit skeptical about you wanting to give them free food. Um, I even approached the school principal, told him like I don't need to know who it is. Just ask if they want to have some food. I'll make a big nice basket for them. I'll bring it to you at school, and you can just drop them off to them, or they can come and pick it up at school or whatever. And nobody wanted to have free food. I'm thinking that right now they're probably regretting because yeah, food is expensive. Sorry, I'm drinking some wine, and I have some acid reflux a little bit. more. That's gonna fix it. So, anyone has anything specific for 2023 that they're hoping to accomplish? Anything new that you're hoping to grow or hoping to try? I know that last year was a very exhausting year for me. The quails didn't produce enough meat for the amount of work that they were requiring. Um, Supporting my local area. I see you have Heinz products in your pantry. Made one kit for my house. Yes, tomato soup. That's the best kind. Or macaroni and then soup. That's family favorites. It is a favorite. Steph is hoping for more time in the studio. In the studio, meaning that you want to do more live streams, or you want to do more videos, or you want to do more interaction with the fans because you're now over 3,000 subscribers, which is awesome. Put it down. So yeah, this summer I think I'll know a bit more um, what we eat, what we need, what's worth growing. Like I'm not gonna spend, you know, a week in the woods harvesting wild strawberries. Um, they're still frozen in the freezer right now. I was hoping to have some jam done with them. Still didn't happen. I'm growing about the same stuff, just different. Yeah. Um, I know I still have some carrots in my garden. I think that whatever I grew was enough for a year. So on the carrot side, I know I'm good. But like I think I'm not gonna grow as much potatoes. I say that, but then again, like uh, potatoes are good. It's just that you spend a whole aisle for potatoes, and you end up with maybe like 75, 80 pounds of potatoes, which I find is not much. Um, but I'm working on something more on the long term. I was hoping to speak to someone. I've said it before in a previous live, but my parents, behind their property, there's a field for maybe like I'd like to say 100 feet. It might be just a tiny bit less, and then there's just like this big bunch of trees. It's the forest, and behind the forest, like there's a road going, and whoever owns the land never goes there. And I'm pretty sure that if I ask them if I can grow a garden there, they're not gonna say no. Like they'd never go there. It would be kind of weird if they did go there for any reason because it would be like between the trees and my parents' house. Like it would make no sense for them to go there. But just out of respect, I prefer to ask them anyway. I couldn't reach them this year. They were gone on vacation, and then went hunting and came back, and they were at work, and there's always something going on. But I'm hoping to reach them maybe earlier this year. Ask them if they mind, and if they don't mind, I'm gonna get a guy to go and till the land, just to remove all the weeds and all that stuff. In the fall, kill everything that's growing there, and hoping that the following spring, maybe in 2024, I can use all that land to grow potatoes. Maybe between my brother and I, that would be awesome. That's the plan anyway. I'm just hoping that together as teammates, I will get back to victory. It's gonna be a draw, and I am hoping that it's gonna happen in a way that nobody can accuse anyone of cheating. Not that I'm accusing anyone of cheating. I'm just saying that we'll be growing sorghum for the first time. Awesome. More quilting, knitting, etc. But yes, we are trying to try. We're going to try our hardest to keep up with the lives for the summer. might be hard. Yeah, and I totally understand. I mean, you guys have kids that are doing sports, and the Friday night for me is the only night that I know that nothing's ever going on. And I've been going live on Fridays in the summer, even if I didn't really have anything to talk about. Like I told Annie, just go live, even if it's only for 15 minutes. At least you're showing people that you're still there and you're keeping, the wheel turning. That's what I've been doing, jamming this weekend. That'd be cool. I'm just not gonna be here tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah. Then again, it's so cold that maybe we could. Yeah, could be a good idea. We'll see. Tracy's back. If you have eaten Heinz tomato soup, you probably ate crickets. Really? Well, cool. Offer them some goods and surely they'll say all right. Well, whoever owns the land, they are both pharmacists and they both own their own pharmacies. So I don't think that they are struggling with money, food, and whatever. Um, well, when you ask them, you might just give them the idea to do it. They they have a lot of land. Um, it's just the way that it's made. I know for a fact that they have no reason to go there. They have some more fields uh, further back, and I don't think they would have time to do it themselves. And I don't think that they wouldn't mind giving like they're not gonna sell it. Well, see, the thing is, there's my parents, the river, and my brother, and whoever owned the land that my brother's on right now, he had a farm, and he asked them if it was okay if he would use the land for his horses, and I think at some point he had some cows, but he was losing them all the time. So I think at some point he stopped. But he had some pigs, he had some chickens, turkeys and horses, and he was using that land back there for the horses. So when my brother got there, he called her and asked her if it was okay if he could use the land for his pigs. And she said, like, of course, like I don't mind. Like, I mean, as long as you don't destroy anything that's already done there. Like, she doesn't want him to go and cut all the trees and stuff like that, but it's lawn, it's grass, it's plants. Like, fence was already there. We only fixed it. So she didn't really mind. So I don't think she wouldn't mind, even if I go there and garden. Like, I'm not going to destroy all the trees and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking of doing lives more during the day. Well, like, I'm working during the day and I keep teasing you that kind of sucks because I can't be there, but you do you. Um, it's going to be tougher for me to watch it. And to be honest, it's hard to sit there and watch a live stream of someone else after it's done. I always give the watch time, but I can't promise that I'm always there listening to every single thing. But what I do most of the time, I'll put it on. I'll listen to bits and pieces, do something else at the same time. No matter what, if I'm available, I'll watch. I'll be there, and if not, I'll give you the watch times. Both ideas are good, I guess. And yeah, you do you, Lynn. Well, he's not even here to defend himself, John. Give him a chance at least. Can't wait to eat cricket burger. So you're thinking that there's crickets in there, Dave? Probably won't say it. Water, tomato puree, wheat flour, sugar, salt, soybean oil, spices like mustard, onion, citric acid, wheat, mustard. It doesn't say anything about crickets. I know a certain monster who would agree. uh, I wouldn't say that. Here, remember, I work in a pharmacy, so all my colleagues are pharmacists, and most of them, I know one of them that wants to have a house like a hobbit. She is hoping to build a house to use the, the heat of the ground and garden and have all her animals. And I know two of them actually want to do that, and I know one of them lives next to the sea, and he goes fishing, and he has a bunch of apple trees, cherry trees, and a garden and all that stuff. You'd be surprised. Evenings are so hard for us, but I know days inconvenient for everyone. But yeah, like I understand. Like if I could, uh, I would probably do it around 6 7 p.m. my time on Fridays, and now I end up starting at 9 p.m. because I know I used to start earlier, an hour earlier, and people were only coming in after I was in live for an hour. So I figured, I'll go live an hour later. I don't know if it's really better, but I have 15 people watching right now, which is awesome. And thank you again, everyone, for being here. I'll have something coming then. Worth a try of talking. Yeah. Oh, I skipped a few comments. Yeah, and I know them. I used to coach. I think I coached their two sons back in the days that were playing soccer, and I used to coach soccer. From what I understand, they are putting crickets in ground beef too. Really? Um, then I will keep going with homegrown then. But not that I might like. I'm not saying I would never eat crickets. Um, I have nothing against eating insects. I mean, if we are to be homesteaders, it's kind of part of the whole thing. I'm not saying you have to, but you can eat insects to get some more proteins and stuff like that. But I'm not sure I would agree with eating only that. Like I'm never gonna stop eating my hamburgers and stuff like that. Uh, but if I was to eat cookies done with crickets, like I don't think I would mind. They won't be on the list. It's processed food. Has a tendency to have some insects in it just because of all of them. Okay, yeah, it makes sense. There's a certain amount of contaminating meat that they allow in, so they are taking advantage of that. Okay. Take care, Lynn. Thank you very much for stopping by. Have a great weekend. Enjoying the chat while I can. Very, very soon, my winter vacation layoff is over, and we'll be back to the grind. If the late winter and early spring are warm, we'll be busy early. Yes, good protein. Yeah, like I mean, I understand that for some people it might be a good alternative. I'm not saying that I would go 100% on the crickets or insects. Uh, I'm just saying that I'm not against uh, having it once in a while. Like I love ranch flavored dehydrated crickets. They were a novelty candy at camp. We used to go to package and sold. Cool. And there are some countries in Asia that will eat insects, and for us, it's kind of disgusting. But for them, it's what they're used to. When some of them eat cats, we eat beef, and we eat chickens, and for them, it probably wouldn't make any sense. Doing the research on cricket feed conversion it was interesting. You probably found a bunch of interesting stuff. I wonder how long it will be till they discover crickets part two, so they will. Yeah, um, yeah. There are some crazy things in the world, like having too much cows would really hurt the atmosphere. Really, you're saying that, and producing tons of carbon dioxide every day with your plants and all that stuff. You're right. In the old days, in the '60s, the tomatoes were handpicked. In the '90s, mechanical harvesting took over, and more stuff got in the wagon. Cricket snakes. Yeah, I mean, I know that when we eat stuff from the garden, we probably eat some stuff, living insects too. Sometimes, there's nothing stopping an insect from going in my strawberry, and you take a bite of strawberry, you don't notice that it's even there. You'll eat salad from the garden. Yeah, well, if I'm not saying I would take a cricket and eat a cricket just like that, but I'm just saying that I wouldn't mind if it was done properly. I know a guy not too far from here. Sorry. Um, Whenever it's the June bug season, I don't know if you guys have that. I don't know what's the real scientific term for those bugs, but they're the ones that come out early in the spring, and when you step on them, these they're disgusting. But anyway, apparently they're a delicacy in some places, and that guy picks them up and he eats them up, and it's his favorite time of year. I just see them and ugh, like I don't even want to touch them. I don't even touch them with my hands when they're dead. Like I'll take a piece of paper and give it to the chicken. The big thing with the cows in the economics. No one entity can have enough land or resources to have control over the entire world. Cows heard before. It's not profitable for consolidation by entities. Like I don't know how to explain it. I feel like if they were accepting to lose a little bit of money on, let's say, food, they could end up making a whole lot more money on something else. They're trying to control this, which is, one thing that all of us here, homesteaders, are trying to, make ourselves. They could let us have the food, put no restrictions on food for ourselves. Like if I could have the amount of chickens I want to have here, if I could have all the animals I wanted to have here, maybe they would sell less in the grocery store, but I would have more money in my pocket to buy more stuff. Maybe I would have a better cell phone. Maybe I would have, uh, Netflix, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, uh, all those kind of things. Maybe I would have a better car. Maybe I would do this. Maybe I would do that. It would be good for the economy somewhere else. But now they're just trying to get us all up here where we can't do anything with our money, and they're complaining why people are not spending more money. Well, come on, man. Like I remember before 2020, it would cost us about $800 bi-weekly for grocery. If it wasn't for all the food that I grew last year, it would probably be around 1,500 bi-weekly right now. Um, I make roughly $1,400 bi-weekly. So just the food itself would be more than my salary. And then I have to pay a house, I have to pay insurance, I have to pay a car, I have to put insurance on my car, I have to put gas, I have to pay for the electricity, which is another $500 a month, by the way. I have to pay someone to open my driveway. It never stops. But they should just give us the right to grow our own food, and then we'd have money to do something else. You don't like them, so that's part of the reason for bad press. One company can own all the crickets. Unfortunately, yes. Milky spore. Yeah. I noticed when I start digging my garden in the spring that I see a lot of larvae. What I do, I just take them out, bring a chicken out, and the chicken will eat them all. But I know there's so many that I miss. Gardening is dangerous and can lead to heart disease. Yeah, like I'd like to see on what basis that could happen because whether you're out gardening or whether you're out, gathering flowers, or you could be out simply running in the grass, how can it be dangerous? The food is better. There's no chemical products in them. There are bigger entities tricking the smaller entities now that they all have the power later. Yeah, it's I try not to talk to think about all that kind of stuff because thank you, Tracy, for sharing. I don't have much merch. I kept telling myself that I was going to have time to do something in the winter. It turns out that the winter is halfway done, and I haven't done a single thing on my Redbubble. Um, yes, it's kind of weird when someone that's not even from New Brunswick knows that Irving owns everything, and it's crazy. Um, we you hear on the news, and it could be true. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. But it's the kind of stuff that I'm gonna say that I tend to believe that the government gave $400 million to Irving to help the business. Okay, okay, maybe they needed it. And then a few months later, you hear Irving giving $100 million to the university to help them out, and then people were praising them. Oh wow, Irving is giving away $100 million. So nice of them. They just got $400 million from the government. How can people not see that? You know, this is the tax that we pay. We're paying for someone else's kid to go to university, and I can't afford to put mine in university because life is too expensive right now. I'm just hearing from one ear, and it looks like it's doom time. Uh, See, Chris, what you're doing? Just kidding. The city ground is contaminated with pollution. It is a scare tactic. They can't stop people from gardening. They can't control them as much. If my ground is contaminated, imagine the ground from everyone else. Imagine the ground from all those big corporations that put chemicals on their land. It's crazy. Why do you think corn was one of the first plants? It's the one grain you can actually grow enough at home to feed yourself at home. Hmm. I was never able to grow corn enough to feed my family because all I can grow is like small corns that big. They were good though. Probably, probably. Oh, I better be careful what I say before I end up dead in the gutter somewhere. In all fairness, though, it is a lot of impending doom, but there is positivity there. Maybe we need a positive monster because the more we grow, less money goes. Yeah, and I started trying to harvest my seeds. This is where I want to focus a little bit more this year. Harvest more seeds. There are some that I feel confident that I can harvest, but there are some that I'm not sure exactly how to do it. Did you get the veggie monster, Chris? Yeah. I'm hoping to this year. There's not gonna be as much um, slugs. I'm also hoping that I won't have the same mice issue I had last year. Um, I can hope as much as I want. I can have goals. If the weather is not helping, last year was a bad weather for apples, especially for apples. It was too humid. Salge had struggled with his beans. He kept planting beans. Like he told me, he planted about 5,000 seeds of beans, and he ended up maybe with 15, 20 plants. Um, that's just insane when you think about it. And then I was wondering why I was struggling so much with beans in my place as well. But it was probably the slugs. The slugs eat everything before it comes out. Um, yes, maybe. Hello, Patrick. Thank you very much for stopping by. Did you have a good day? It was cold, winter. You went outside for a long, long walk. Don't tell me you enjoy this cold. It's way too cold to have fun. Yeah, well, even the trees that had a lot of apples, the apples were not looking good. They had those brown spots on them. They were all mushy. They were all like weird shapes. I didn't enjoy my apple picking season last year. I was hoping to have a lot more. I was hoping to go earlier in the season to get the golden delicious ones. Didn't work. Now I'm just hoping that the apple trees that I planted last year are going to grow big enough. Um, if they can survive the first winter, so my plum trees and my cherry trees, I should be all right after. It's usually the first winter. I have another one, the second one that I planted a few years back. It seems like he's not growing. He is still alive, still has some leaves. I don't know. It might be a little bit taller or whatever, but it seems like just a bunch of branches on top. Then the stem is just like a straight thing. Just thinking of going back to bring water to the rabbits later. I think I will freeze on the spot. It is cold. Um, it's crazy. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. Chris, Steph, and Fred. Yes, Fred is cool. I haven't watched his last video, but it's still in my watch later list. And what happens? I'm usually the last one to go to bed, and I am usually the first one to get up in the morning. So when I get up in the morning, most of the time I'll go in the living room and watch TV, the news, or whatever. But like tonight, the kids are sleeping there. So tomorrow morning when I get up, I'll go make my coffee and come sit right here and get some videos on the go. I have a lot of short ones from Patrick and Dave to watch. I also have a few ones from Tracy and Hickorycroft and Annie and Back to Basics Homestead to watch. I am late on a lot of people. Also, Lynn. I still need to watch a few videos on Lynn. I watched some here and there, but yeah, my kids maybe they would like Fred. Um, by the way, let me go and just get the link to the channel. Annie was telling me today that she is at about um, she is less than 200 hours away. She was at like 177 hours of watch time needed to be monetized. So if you guys be kind enough to put one of her playlists for the night, you go to bed. Just don't put the volume on. Don't put it on mute. Put the volume down to one. Give her at least a few hours of watch time. That would be very, very appreciated. She's been sitting at, I think she's at 1,090 subscribers, almost 1,100 right now, and she's still struggling with with watch hours. I will ask them to check it out. It's been a long day. All right, awesome, Tracy. Thank you very much for stopping by. I'm almost done anyway. I won't stay on for too long. See, this is what I have left in my bottle of wine. So after this, I'm gone. And yeah, for Annie, she has the same trouble as Tracy. She's competing against herself from last year because you need to have the 4,000 hours in the last 365 days. But whatever was done 365 days ago is more than what she's doing now, or equal, or close anyway. So even if she does it live today, which might give her like 20 hours, 20 hours is still a long way from the 200 hours she needs. So she would really, really, really need us all to go and put on a playlist and give her some watch time if you guys can. Um, I've been on for over, well, almost an hour and a half now. Um, I will head out, go check out on the kids to make sure that they're sleeping well and everything's done. My daughter was gone with her godmother tonight to get her nails done. Um, and I don't know if she's back. I didn't hear her coming in. Usually I hear them right up there. Um, so I will head out. Thank you, everyone. Everyone, thank you very. When I start talking like this, it means it's time for me to go. When I say two things at once, thank you, everyone. Like, thank you very much, everyone, for being here. I do the same thing in French. It's not because I speak English and I blend words together like this. Um, time for bed, yes, and don't forget before you go to bed, put on one of Back to Basics Homestead playlist, please. She would really, really appreciate it. And take care. Have a nice weekend. Glad we called you tonight. Hope everyone had a great weekend. Has a great weekend. Yes, we should be having a lot of fun tomorrow with the kids. Uh, take care, everyone. I will put some music for a few minutes just to you guys go easily.